I'm TEMPHUiBIS here. So I ain't done a video in quite a long while. Been quite depressed, and I what's it called? Writ a journal about it on my DeviantArt account, but I'm not going to get into it really now. Yeah. So I did this Q&A had to come almost near the end of the month. So I'm gonna start with Malcrow21. He asked, what was the first pet you've ever had? The first pet I've ever had was a cat as well. We had a black and white cat named Pussin, and that cat was more black than white. And of course now we have Starlight, aka Biggie Boy, who is a black and white cat, but more white than black, the other way around. So yeah, that's only two pets I've ever had. Pussin was the first. How long have you been wearing glasses? I think I've been wearing glasses since I was 16, so that's 12 years. No, how can it be 16? No, it was when I was 14. Yeah. So yeah, I've been wearing glasses since I was 14, so 14 years. Man, I've actually been wearing glasses for half my life already. Time goes so fast. AGentertainment asks, is Resident Evil 6 racist for not including that many black people? Based on the trailer, there are none. If people thought Resident Evil 5 was racist for shooting black people, is Resident Evil 6 racist for not including them? Alright, well, this is the situation I think of it. If people thought Resident Evil 5 was racist for shooting black people, those guys are idiots. So those 10 are probably going to be the people they're probably going to be the people who would think Resident Evil 6 is racist for not including them, which of course would make them a bit of hypocrites and stuff. But, well, me personally, I don't really care about it anyway. I wouldn't say it's racist, because that's a real harsh word. I'll just say it's just bloody, it's just, a bit of a dumb stereotype. Like, it's only going to be black people when you're in Africa. When you're in anywhere else, it's just always, yeah. I could say that's just probably a bit of a dumb stereotype, but I'm not going to say the game's racist. I'm not going to hate on the game. I'm not going to be like, oh, you know what, I'm not playing this game, or this game's a hate crime. So, you know what I mean? So I won't say it's racist. Bit of a harsh word. And MKjamieMK asks, what new features would you like to see in Mortal Kombat 2, such as game modes? Mortal Kombat 2. It's funny how that's going to be called Mortal Kombat 2 and not Mortal Kombat 10. Anyway, what I'd like to see. What I'd like to see here is, okay, I don't like game modes, right? But in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, quite a lot of people didn't like that for the 3D-ness and everything like that, but there was one thing I really did actually like from Deadly Alliance. It was in Armageddon and whatever that second one, whatever that new one after Bloody Alliance was. I forgot what it was called. But I want the weapons. Remember, you had a style. You press one button to change what style you're using, and then you press it again. Then you're on the weapon. I actually like that because it's like it's fighting with two different styles. You can try and combine the styles and make a really good combo, and you could have a weapon with it as well. I actually really love that, and I personally wish they incorporate that into the 2D Mortal Kombat, or should I say the 2.5D Mortal Kombat, because that's what this Mortal Kombat is. It would be really wicked. So that's what I wish they kept. There's no point in me saying test your might or any of those, because those were already there. So we have all that, so all that's enjoyable still. And second, any new or old fighters you would like to see included, or even another cameo like MK had Kratos and Freddy Kruger. Is there any characters I want to see in there? Personally, if there was anything I'd like to see in there, it'd probably be some more evil Anthro guys, maybe. don't know why. I, I don't know why, yeah, but for some reason, do you know what? I just don't know why. I'm actually going to just select some random people that will never ever be in there, but it would be a funky shock if they were in there, yeah? I'd like to say Mumra from Thundercats, Jackalman from Thundercats, Merman from He-Man, and oh, what's his name? Cobra Khan. Is it Cobra Khan? Cobra Khan, something like that. I forgot his name was. From He-Man as well. I don't know why. Those characters look like those characters look like they got that medievalish look on them. And although yeah, they're all in children's programs, but I know in some of the later on programs they tried to turn the violence up a bit. And you know, probably when they were actually working on these characters, they wanted them to be a bit more violent than they really are. Just because it's only because they want to make it for kids. So I can just imagine them putting those characters in the game and them coming out with some next moves to make it interesting. So that would be kind of random and interesting. So yeah, those are the characters I'm going to select. Zaid12 asks, what are the chances that we'll see a new Road Rash? Could you imagine 16-player online races? That would be insane. That would be really terrific. But you know what, yeah, I don't think we're going to see one unless we'll get back to that in a moment, because I know someone's asked a question a little later on, so we'll get back to that in a minute. And his second question here is, would you rather be Batman Beyond or Spider-Man 2099? Well, I've never ever seen Spider-Man 2099. Never seen it. So I'm just going to have to just say Batman. I'm going to have to say Batman Beyond on that one. Martino007 asks, have you ever heard of Bring Me the Horizon, a metalcore band? Nope, I've never ever heard them. I suppose their songs might be pretty good. And what was the first DVD you bought, if you can remember? It was X-Men, and I don't even have it no more. It was the first X-Men film. And Joey Real Gamer asks, March 2012, there are quite a few blockbusters coming out this year. Men in Black 3, The Avengers, Amazing Spider-Man and The Dark Knight Rises. Are you looking forward to any of these? The Avengers, and that's probably about it really. Men in Black 3 might be a funny comedy, but number 2 was a bit of a letdown. You know, so I wouldn't say, you know what I mean? And second, what do you think of the musician Labyrinth? He's from Hackney, you know. I think he's wicked. I think he's a wicked producer. His music's great, and I like for the two songs he's done. I love the videos from them, and I knew he was from Hackney. I know quite a lot of these big guys are from Hackney and from Stratford as well. You know, yeah, these guys are wicked. And Black American Hero asks, what do you think of an Irish traveller gypsy bare knuckle boxer in Tekken, or even a video game in its own right? Cheers. Okay, an Irish traveller gypsy bare knuckle boxer. I was going to say, wouldn't you say some games have those type of fighters already? But nah, maybe. Okay, I'm not going to think of one, but yeah, I reckon yeah, it would be wicked to have that in the game, because you know you got some really good boxers who really slug it out but still keep a technical side, so it would be pretty cool, you know, be like that Kimbo Slice type of fighting in it really. So yeah, I reckon it would be pretty terrific, so I'm going to say yeah, that would be pretty cool. Now JSJ07 asks, what are your thoughts on Game shutting down this year and GameStop possibly coming from USA and entering the UK market. I didn't know about GameStop coming here. I knew Game was shutting down. GameStop coming down here, I think that would be terrific, you know, because it's big market down there, so I reckon it'll probably do well over here. And to be totally honest, I really don't mind that much whether they come or not, because I've got to the point where I'm really enjoying ordering my games online anyway, because you get your games way early before they come out, you know. So I just usually just order now anyway. And second, if you could revisit one moment of your life again, what would it be? Could be a day or even a year. If I was to say a year, I'd probably say I'd like to just visit 2010 again. You know, a lot of things went. Nah, actually, not 2010. No. I mean, it was a brilliant. 2010 was a brilliant year, but what could I? You know what? I can't really think on that one. You know, because I mean, if I really have to think of all my life, there really was some good times, and then, you know, I think the last brilliant time I really can't get out of my head was the first day that I saw Real Steel, because I mean, like I said in the video, you saw the video how nuts I was, and you saw, I mean, I was way worse than that when I was at the cinema. I went way crazy. I really loved the film so bloody much, man. I went nuts when I first watched it, so that's probably the best day, you know. If I could have that day again, that would be perfect. What I would need to do, it's like if another film can come out and bring that sort of energy out of me like that again, I guess that day can happen again, maybe. So hopefully Real Steel 2, hopefully I don't mess anything up. But this film, you know what it is. And he's got a PS here. Thanks for your tips on the driving test. I pass. Stocky Docky asks, have you played a Bobo's Big Adventure yet? I played it and it's pretty good. I'm surprised this wasn't on PSN and Xbox Live. I have not played it yet. Do you want to know why I haven't played it yet? Basically, I don't like using keyboards when it comes to playing PC games. So I was trying to set up my PS3 controller so I could use it on this laptop, and funnily enough it wasn't working. I was trying to get this and that, it just wasn't working, it wasn't doing what I wanted to do. But then still, since it's like a NES game, I want to actually play it like a NES game. I want to have the authentic feel. So you know what I mean, I want to use this. And on the website they showed the adapter to use this on the laptop. Sadly, only American people can do it. English people have trouble. I mean, they can't send it to England. So therefore, one of my friends in America, he's ordered it. It's coming to his house. I don't know why it's taken so long. And then he's going to send it over here with something else that I paid him for him to get me. So that's taking long, but once it comes, that'll be all sorted and everything. And surprised when this went on PSN and Xbox Live. Yep, I can understand that as well. And B-Boy Agent Tekken asks, so what is the reason why we ain't getting films like back in the 70s, 80s, 90s and early 2000s? Oh, so it's films. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Zayed's 12's question, yeah, because he was talking about Road Rash. I thought when I had a glance through at this, yeah, I just thought B-Boy Agent Second said, why aren't we getting games like back in the 70s? Okay, so he was talking about films. Oh, okay, well I was going to say about games, yeah, so back to Zaid 12, yeah. The reason why I don't think we're going to get games like Road Rash anymore and stuff like that, yeah, is because these days I don't think people make games for passion anymore. I think they just make games just for money and stuff. Road Rash is a legend game that we all remember, but it's not games that's going to make as much money as I think before and all that. And the only time we're going to get Road Rash again is if a passion person makes it, like if I make it or you make it. That's what I thought about that. So I was going to basically use that sort of same answer for this, when I still can use the same answer. So back to B-Boy Agent Tekken, films like back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and to early 2000s. I think we're not really getting much films, possibly because of the same thing. People want to make films. They want to make sure the film sells. They want to make sure it makes the money. You know, some people could have a passion for this type of film, but they won't do it because they want it to make money and stuff like that. Like if I was to do a film, I know what my film would be about. I'll do it. I'm not confident. I ain't really confident that my film could sell. You know, but I want to do my film because I want to do my film. I want my film to be about this because it's what I'm about. I'm about this. You know, back in the olden days, I think people used to just make films because they were just passionate about it. You know, they'll do a film about this. They'll do a film that has a lot of originality, a lot of creativity. That's what I say about games as well. Yeah, and so the films. So the films here, back in those days, because now what a lot of people just keep doing is just doing remakes. They do remakes now because they know that it's going to get somewhere. You know, people now forget that there was actually a Transformers the movie back in the 80s, which to me is probably one of the best films ever. It's one of the best. It's in my top 10 films of all time. That's how those days are just gone because it's the way the world is now. You know, that's the only thing I can think of in that situation. Second, have you ever been on a cruise before? And if not, would you like to do some kind of world tour? Probably around Asia, South America. Well, I've done a short cruise, one that just went through the River Thames. It was a short one. It was pretty cool. A world tour around Asia, I guess it would be kind of cool. Yeah, probably in South America as well. Maybe the whole of America would be pretty cool. North and South, that is. Yeah, I can imagine it being pretty cool. So I would like to do one. Andy 14324 asks, can you share a story of one of your worst restaurant experiences? I'm sure everyone has a story from the restaurant. Okay, you know what? There's never ever really been a bad time I went to a restaurant like really bad. I've seen shows on when someone goes to a restaurant and they think the food sucks and they send the food back and all that type of thing. The worst experience I've had isn't even that bad. It was the second time I went to Chicago Rib Shack. First time was bloody ultra fantastic. I remember they gave me a starter and I loved that starter and I wanted to go back there and get that same starter again. The second time they were fresh out of the starter and it was like that. I thought, okay, let me get this one instead. They were fresh out of that starter as well. The other starters were just things I didn't even like, so it was like, forget about that. And I thought I'd try a steak instead of ribs, and the steak was a lot of money and it was very small. I mean, the taste was cool, but it really was small for the money it was. I can't remember how much I paid now, but it really was small for that. So, but I mean, but the dessert made up for it. It was really wicked. But you know what I mean, that's all I can say. That was the only thing that was really fantastic, really. But yeah, that was the worst. That was the worst experience. But it's not that bad because, you know, when I go to Chicago Rib Shacks again, I just get ribs this time anyway. Have you seen Fast 5, the latest of Fast and Furious? If so, what did you think of it, and give it out of 10 and why? I have not seen any of the Fast and Furious. I haven't seen Fast 5. I've not seen absolutely any of the films. Don't know, not really my type of thing really. Never seen any of them. Venom3421 asks, have you got Street Fighter X Tekken yet? If so, who are your best characters besides King? Craig Marduk, Sagat and Ogre. Might look for some more characters to use. I wish Adam was in there. That would have been heavy. And he said another thing. Yeah. What is the funniest thing you've ever seen in life? Oh boy, Jesus Christ. There was something that I remembered laughing at as a kid. I've laughed at it really loads of times. I couldn't stop laughing at it. If I had saw it today, it wouldn't have been all that funny. But when I was a kid, it was really, really, really funny. And it was on You've Been Framed. A guy was playing golf. He went to swing once. He missed it. He went to swing twice. He missed it again. Then he just went... like we'll throw it down. Went to walk away. Then he went to run and kick it, and he missed it and buckled over. It was just, the way he buckled was just funny. It was just so much fail. It was just really unreal. I thought that was very, very funny. You know, at the time, I remember I laughed so much that I kind of almost choked myself, and I was coughing a lot after that. And but I think back about it now, it's not that funny, but it was something that I really laughed at. So that's kind of anything I can think of at the moment. Alright. And H-Taste asks, if you could be anything in this world, what would you like to be the most? You can choose anything but one. For example, you could be an MMA champion of the world, a famous musician, director of animated films, game developer, even best play and Tekken player in the world. That's a hard question. Do you know why it's a hard question? Because if I was to say director of animated films, I like to become the director of animated films due to the fact that I can work on almost everything myself, like including the music, which technically means famous musician would come into it as well. Unless you're talking about just director of animated films, but you can I can still make the music of them, but just don't be a famous musician. Because I like the best of both worlds. I like making music and I like animating things. To be honest, do you know what I want in the... Do you know what I actually want in the world? This would be something that could really be helpful to my life. I want to be the guy in the world that never has a block. Never has a creative block. When I want to work on something, I can just work on it. And I'm happy with it. Like if I said I'm going to work on a song tomorrow, I'll work on a song tomorrow. If I said I want to work on animation tomorrow, I'll work on animation tomorrow. I want to just be able to just finish what I want to finish. Because there's so much things that I like doing, and I do take time because sometimes I have a lot of blocks and blah blah blah, and everything it really messes around really. But that's kind of what I really want really. Would you start cheesing your balls off if you could set out to slay the boob goblin in the Ganzonga cave and smite other suitors in the breastedary and claim the boob princess's awesome boobage, then caress her rocking tits in the fountains of Valnoth, and appease the gods by lathering her boobs with soapy suds, and swim in the itty titty fairies of the Mammoth Mountain. What's the point? You don't get to see the lady's boobs anyway. Yep, that was a question here from the South Park episode. I know what he's talking about. That was very funny. Wait a minute. Now, I've run out of questions here, but I swear to God some people have just asked me some more questions. Let me just quickly just check my channel for a second. Yeah, okay, there's just one more. And this is from Mr. Grimes, the anti-hero. Alright, what's up, Temp? How do you feel about Michael Bay changing the origin of Ninja Turtles? He wants to make them aliens from another planet. His second question. Do you think the mainstream music industry is a bit biased, as they always promote the same artists all the time, like Drake, Lil Wayne? There's so much space for other artists. That's one thing I always say. Passion over money. I'm sorry. Money over passion. We do passion over money. That's all I say. Yeah, man. I do think it's quite biased. I mean, like, alright, there are some really good artists that, yeah, they are promoting them again. I mean, they're good artists, but then they do promote them again and again, like Skrillex and deadmau5. I love their music so much, you know. But I mean, I guess it makes it harder for musicians to get there, and the best thing is when they get there, you know, you've achieved more. Then if you can achieve to become a really good successful musician in this hard industry, then, you know, I think it's better. So maybe maybe in a way it could be a good thing that they're biased. But yeah, so that should be all the questions. If I've missed a question, I apologise. Post it again and it'll be on the next one. So sorry about that, guys. Hopefully I ain't missed any questions. But that's it, guys. So thanks very much. I'll speak to you all later. Love who you are.